Okay, so it's feeding to your Twitter too. Hey everyone! As always, we're getting a couple technical things figured out as we launch. Still getting used to Restream. It's some pretty awesome tech. I don't see. Well, wait, another one just added. So let's see, or maybe I can't see your channels. And shoot, hold on one second. Did I? So Jordan, on our side, we are feeding into the SimWin
Yes.
audience.
Yeah, we got two. Yeah, we got SimWin Facebook and SimWin Twitter.
Yeah, we should not be feeding into SimWin right now. That's the call on Thursday.
Got it.
Yeah, if we can kill those, that would be great. And then get with Bruno to disconnect or delete whatever was been posted. All right. With that, Jordan from Aces, does it look like your community is live and engaged?
I am trying to get them on. Can you hear me?
Okay. I'll look on Twitter.
Looks like the YouTube link might not be working. Let's see if.
Okay, so I can see us on my Twitter now. Let's go to, I just had YouTube up. We are live. And here is the actual video link, like the right there. And let me go over to Twitch. Oh, yeah, and Twitch is live is just with that link to my general account. All right, so YouTube link. Oh, Coach, we thought you were going to be on the call.
He probably didn't get his haircut.
That's what hats are for.
Right. All right, I'm gonna throw this link. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this link on my personal Twitter and on Whitelist Twitter real quick. So what's the best best link to tweet? Is it the YouTube or?
There should be, like, typically we send them all like in one message, like, hey, you can join this way, this way, this way. That way everybody can pick their copy link to tweet, their own journey. There is the actual Twitter video. So that's Twitch, YouTube video. Oh, and it's on the Aces Twitter right now too. So if you want to keep in brand, you can run off there. But definitely do drop the Twitch link in Discord so that they can watch directly in Discord. Didn't know I was invited. I'll let you guys run it. Okay, no problem. So I think we're in pretty good shape. And let's see, review slider. No, I'm not enjoying running off of one big monitor. It doesn't work as well as I thought. So window, share. All right. And I think with that, we've got a couple eyeballs on. We should be ready to kick off. So this call is going to be a little different. Most of you watching off of either my profiles or inside our Discord server, you're used to our AMA being with someone coming into our community. We've done that with the Whitelist.io team and their Aces NFT drop project. I do want to give Jordan from the Aces team a chance to introduce himself and his project. But today we're going to be talking to their audience about all of the fun stuff that we're doing on our end and talk about some potential partnerships that we're working on that are going to help add value to both of our communities and help us grow together. So, Jordan, do you want to give us a little intro of yourself, your project, and then we can jump into what it is we've got cooking?
Yeah, absolutely. And Book Nerd, appreciate you having me. Again, Jordan Norwood. I am a let's see, former NFL athlete. I played 8 years of NFL football. Played for the Cleveland Browns and for the Denver Broncos, and finished up my career in 2017. And from there, pretty much got into kind of creative entrepreneurial spaces with photography and graphic design. Got into kind of tech entrepreneurial spaces, obviously, with NFTs. About this time last year, I got into NFTs and started my project, the Whitelist Aces collection, back in October. It's basically a membership that gives our holders access to in real life events and experiences, corporate partnerships that give discounts and kind of membership rewards and opportunities there. And then also just an awesome piece of kind of social art that we can use as a profile picture, and art for your wall too. We had a couple great artists out of from Munich. Benny and Daniel have done a great job with our artwork, and it's been a great ride so far. Learning as we go, of course, just like everybody in the NFT space. And yeah, really happy to be on the call with you guys.
I apparently muted myself and then started talking. No, I appreciate that. We did a great AMA with you and your group prior to your drop. I don't know who some of your largest holders are, but I think our DAO holds 28 aces, and then I personally hold like 10. And I know our group bought into that really big, so they're excited to see everything that's going on with your project. And I know you guys have got a lot of big things coming up. We've been talking about some potential partnerships, and we're going to announce here in about 20-ish minutes a new partnership on a project that I think is going to benefit both communities. And I'm excited about that. We wanted to introduce to the whitelist.io community what it is that we do over here. Our project is called the Whale Sharks. That's our NFT collection. And a big part of that is our WhaleMakerDAO. We're going to talk a little bit about what the DAO does and who the Whale Sharks are. But prior to doing that, I'm not going to read this whole thing. You just need to understand that nothing that we're going to talk about today is going to be considered financial advice, legal advice, or accounting advice. Please always talk to your attorney, your financial planner, or your accountant. We're just going to be chatting today about the things that we're working on or things that we've done in the past. And nothing in this presentation is to be considered a solicitation for investment. There is no investment available to the general public. You must be a member of our community and a holder of our NFT to have access to our DAO. So there is no general public solicitation happening at this time. That's always the fun part. I can't go into presentation mode, Jordan, because if I do, it goes full screen and I can't see Restream. This is the problem with using one big monitor. I'm less than 24 hours into it and I fucking hate it. So I'm going to go back to a multi-monitor setting so I can do the things that I like to do, because this is ugly. So our foundation here, before I jump into that, I apologize. If you are watching on Twitch, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Twitter, if you type in anything on any of those platforms, it'll come directly over to us. You can touch that right now just to make sure that I'm telling the truth. And we'll see that and we'll be able to respond directly to it. This is meant to be a conversation, not just a presentation. So the questions, the more fluid they are and the sooner they come in, the more we can address them and the more fun we can have. The foundation of our project is that we believe the future is in Web3. So we are focusing in on adoption and enablement. Hey, welcome from Romania. Thank you, Adrian. And we're building an ecosystem around that. If you watched our alpha call at 9 a.m., you'll know that my investment thesis has always been to own the on-ramps into projects. I want to own or have access to the marketplaces that give me access to hundreds of opportunities instead of going so far downstream that I have to beg and choose to get access to individual projects. The opportunity that we see in this is yield. So a lot of our investments are derived around P2E or recurring revenue streams from DeFi, P2E, GameFi, Metaverse. We firmly believe that if you're on this call right now, you're early, and that we're seeing the transition from the GameFi to P2E space. Like, this is the beginning of all of it. I'm just now having conversations with people about Gen 2 P2E games, with like the Axie Infinities being the Gen 1s and the tokenomics that comes behind it. You're going to see a massive explosion this year in this space. A lot of the games that did NFT drops last year are going to be coming to market with their actual games this year. Metaverse 2.0, the opportunity to earn inside of it's huge. We are basically an index fund, and our value proposition is our access. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, who the hell am I? A year ago, my name was Roger. I've quickly lost that name and joined the DGen space. I've been a professional investor since 2018. Some of my earlier investments, I was an early investor in GoDaddy, in HubSpot. Those are some of my big wins. I've been in cryptocurrency since 2013, got heavily involved in 2017. I'm the former head of cryptocurrencies at Equity Trust, a $27 billion financial services company, where my job in 2017 was to train their sales reps on how to sell cryptocurrency as an investment to the general public. That's early. And since then, I've gone on to found a company called Block Capital. We run 3 funds now in the blockchain, Web3, and small business space. And I'm the founder of Whale Sharks and the WhaleMakerDAO, which is our expansion into Web3, and is why we're on this call today, and the partnership that we're establishing with the Whitelist team. That's my wife. That's my daughter. We just recently had a son, which is super exciting. And we've built what we believe is an amazing team, kind of like Jordan's over at the whitelist.io. And we're about to announce a partnership together. Some of our team at the WhaleMakerDAO, Kevin Harrington, digital shark from Shark Tank, he's got a $400 million net worth. Brandon T. Adams, a 4-time Emmy Award winner. Brian Harrington, who runs the Kevin Harrington business. And then Joel Comm and Travis Wright from the Nifty Show and the Bad Crypto Podcast, one of the largest audiences in the P2E and cryptocurrency space. These are our advisors. These are the people that we go to when we need advice on what we're going to do in our business. And they're also the people that you're going to be able to spend time with in Miami if you want to join us at our mastermind at the end of the month. We've also got an amazing team inside of our core business, which is results.io. We've quickly become one of the largest Web3 marketing agencies, and you'll see that we have a very worldwide team. Our team represents 7 different countries. Our management represents 5 different countries, and we now have 22 clients and 75 employees. We have investments from 2 of the largest VC funds in the Web3 space, and they are our flow of clients and opportunities that we bring to the market. When we talk in a second about what access means in this space, you'll understand why this is more important. This is our secret sauce. As the founder of Block Capital and being an investor, I'm also a liquidity partner at IVC, which is they just raised a $70 million fund and have done over 50 investments already this year. And Results.io is a marketing company. We have opportunities to invest in projects that other people don't get. Our offer to our marketing clients is, if you are VC backed and you fit the mold of the type of clients we're looking for, we will invest in you to give you the capital to pay our company to do your marketing. So it costs you nothing to work with us, and we profit from your profit. And some of the customers that we've worked with, OP Games, Galaxy Cats, YGG, SimWin, XY Finance, these are some big players in the Web3 sphere. So when people think about, like, why would I want to be part of your DAO? Why would I want to own your NFT? It's the opportunity to get involved in these projects. We have one very distinct value proposition that differentiates us from most other funds or DAOs. We have an 18-year roadmap. We're designed to create recurring revenue streams that compound over time and build up towards a liquidity event that happens in the year 2040. So this is for those looking for more long-term. If you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, this could be part of your overall retirement account. We have our tokenomics have been designed by professional economists, and they run on the back of a machine learning algorithm. We've recently split into a 2-token ecosystem to better manage the expansion and contraction of our economy, and to make sure that we reach our ultimate goal inside of the fund and with our partners that are participating in this. Here's some of the cool investments that we've made so far. SimWin, which is the metaverse of the sports, the sports metaverse. There are a lot of small projects out there that are tackling individual elements, but this is the big one. They're backed by all of the biggest investors. They're an all-star team that came over from the Madden ecosystem, the EA Sports, the Halo. The owners of the teams inside of SimWin are phenomenal. We're talking Marshall Faulk. I'm trying to remember which ones I can announce and which ones I can't. LaMelo Ball just announced. Mike Singletary. Just you got to check out their website. I always get nervous that I'm going to announce things that I'm not supposed to have announced yet, so I get nervous. And the reason that I like SimWin, we have bought a team. We invested in their seed round. I've always wanted access to gambling income, but it's really hard as a U.S. resident or U.S. business to get access to that. SimWin Sportsbook's going to give us access to that. IVC, I'm an LP there, but we also made a substantial investment. It gave us access to over 70 individual investments that we probably weren't going to be able to do on our own. And then the football team that we're going to be announcing on March 29th in Miami. We've got a huge party going on down there. If any of you would like to join, feel free to reach out. We got excited because we can earn money every single day on our gameplay, our fantasy sports, our sports book. We can run advertising inside of our stadium. We can sell merchandise. Like the sky's the limit. This was our opportunity to own a professional sports in a brand new league. And we're starting with football, but we're going to be involved in baseball, basketball, soccer, Formula One, boxing, MMA, cricket. Like, I don't even know the rules of cricket, but I'm going to profit from owning a team. It's big in certain parts of the world. Oh, Jerry Rice, another owner that's already been announced. Like, these are big names. Makes it a lot of fun too. So what are the opportunities for people? So I mentioned we're a dual token economy. We have a governance token and an index token that is driven by the underlying value. You can earn, we have staking. If you own a whale shark and you purchase an alpha node, you can stake those to earn pod over time. We are an investment in a bucket of assets. We have seed and private round opportunities for accredited or qualified investors. Our focus is recurring revenue. We're building an engine. I think Jordan from our team, you were the one that called us the Berkshire Hathaway of the Web3 space. We're using Warren Buffett's model to create cash flow that will allow us to compound that cash flow into additional investments. And by using that model, we know that over an 18-year period that the compound rate of return in DeFi, Web3, and P2E is substantially greater in the general markets, and it's going to give us an opportunity to build a huge portfolio of assets. We also issue our NFT to investors. So if you invest $25,000 or more in the DAO, as a qualified investor, you get a whale shark, so you can join the overall community. We do roll-ups. If you're in the P2E space or in the metaverse space, we roll up assets inside of our DAO to give people an opportunity to take current assets and expand the reach or value proposition of those assets. Some of our whale sharks, really cool art, a lot of different creative. We went with a lot of different traits. But here's the time, and Jordan from ACES, if you want to jump back on, where we can talk about our partnership on a couple different things. Our big thing in our community is every week we publish the Alpha Report. This comes from in 2017, we launched the Digital Currency Index. And at one point, we had 44,000 subscribers to our monthly newsletter. So we're repeating that process in the Web3 space. The weekly alpha report, we do a call every week at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, but for subscribers, you get it the day before. And we're now going to drop this report into the whitelist.io Discord server every Monday so that you'll get a first chance to jump on it. Inside the report, we've reviewed all of the big projects that are out there, and we tell you exactly where to go find alpha. This isn't you must go grind for a whitelist spot 100 times over. This is what NFTs you can buy now that you can stake. Where is the macro alpha communities that you can get access to multiple different opportunities? This is my investment thesis laid out in a format that allows you to take advantage of the access and the connections that we have. It gives you the opportunity to join our in real life masterminds and events. And a big part of what we do is recurring revenue. So we want to give you the tools and the access that you need to set up a guild, or set up P2E opportunities so that every day while you're sleeping, you're making money. And we're going to launch this into the into the whitelist.io Discord starting next week. Jordan, you want to talk a little bit about what prompted you to make this part of your community?
Yeah, absolutely. And Roger, thanks again for letting me hop on and join you guys. Yeah, I mean, we saw a great value in just the alpha group in general. I think we had a call with you guys. Man, when was that? It was definitely pre-mint, but it was maybe back in December. So or late January, we hopped on with you guys and really just saw the value in your team. I mean, just the kind of the track record you guys have, from the financial background to the tech background of some of your guys on the team, but then introducing just emerging opportunities like SimWin, really intrigued us. So I mean, it didn't take much after that to have us on board, and we're really happy to be able to have this partnership and excited to be getting that alpha into our Discord on a weekly basis.
Yeah, we're excited to put it over there and just start to share opportunities between communities. I know you're not able to make it down to Miami, but we did want to open up the opportunity for whitelist.io members that may be interested in joining us in Miami, March 29th and 30th. We've got a great mastermind. Kevin Harrington's going to be talking about how we built his $400 million fortune and what he sees the opportunities as in Web3 and why they're going so heavy in it. I'll be talking about how I turned $27,000, $26,540 into $1.4 million in cryptocurrencies, and then how I turned $60,000 into $600,000 in the NFT space. And you can check my wallets. I don't have to convince you that I did that. It's on the blockchain. Brandon T. Adams, a 4-time Emmy Award winner, is going to be talking about how to build a brand in Web3. And this, a lot of people overlook this part, but if you're going to be an investor and if you're going to be a collector, the better your brand positioning is, the better access you're going to get to opportunities. And then we just announced yesterday, and we haven't even updated our banner yet, Brett Fogel, one of the top cryptocurrency traders on the planet, who runs one of the top cryptocurrency trading groups, is going to be coming and talking about using signals and how to trade cryptocurrencies for profit. And we might have another announcement coming with Brett Fogel for opportunity for Alpha Report subscribers and Alpha Group members that I think is going to be pretty exciting for people. So you're invited if you're a whitelist.io member. This is not open to the general public. Typically, you have to own a Whale Shark NFT. Now, if you own the whitelist, if you own an ACE, that's easier to say. If you own an ACE, you have access to this. And we'll get that information into both Discord servers so that we can make that happen. And with that, this is where we transition over to the open Q&A. So if you have any questions for myself, if you have any questions for the Jordans, because there's 2 of them on the call, about our projects, about what we're working on, why we're working on it, what we're investing in, now's the time to get those asked. All right. Do you want to pop that question up? Or I guess I can. There we go. you can solve the fact on Web3 it's harder to take loans or investing in corporation with Web2, aka fintech world. Yes. If you look at our alpha report, we've actually partnered with 2 people that are trying to solve this. So one of them is called Kyoko. They are a DeFi lending platform for P2E assets and guild owners. So we're talking about leverage. If you go out and you put, say, $100,000 into a guild, and you get all those assets, and then you've got to try to compound that money, they're going to give you leverage on those assets through peer-to-peer lending. So you'll be able to stake those assets, get a return on them, and have more money to go build your business. Because you're right, there is a lack of that type of liquidity in the markets in order to help you grow. So we're investing in the infrastructure. We're an investor in the platform, and we're also a promoter of the platform. In fact, their IDO is coming up in like 3 weeks. You can go over to their server, mint their Kyoko badge, which is completely free or like costs 5 cents. And when you mint it, you'll actually get a 10% bonus on their IDO. These guys are going to be huge in the space. It's going to take some time for everybody to get used to it. But you're right. We need the ability to take loans and invest in assets. There are multiple platforms that are starting to do loans and mortgages on metaverse land. And I had a conversation with a huge investor. I'm talking $500 million in the metaverse space yesterday. And some of the commercial real estate aspects that they're bringing to market are just like, they blow my mind to see people thinking the way that they do. And we're going to be more excited. We're going to be excited to announce those things as they become more available. Thank you for dropping that.
Roger, I have a quick question if nobody pops in. Can you talk a little bit more about SimWin and what your Whale Shark franchise, what that looks like, and on a tangible level?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's like a couple layers to this. Let's talk about community first. So as a team owner in the ecosystem, we're directly connected with all of the celebrity athletes that are part of that ecosystem. So there's kind of like that club. Like people own a Bored Ape because they want to be part of the club. People own SimWin teams because they're not cheap. They're anywhere from 1.75 million to up to 3.5 million, depending on the market. So owning a team makes you part of a community that gives you access to other opportunities. I'm always looking for that. I want the network effect. The next layer down, as an investor in the seed round, we see the scale of this project. This has been in development for 3 years. It's got all of the top executives from all of the biggest and most successful games. It's got backing from all of the biggest investors in Web 2 and Web 3. Their token is on fire in the private markets. And the earning opportunities as an investor or a participant are multifaceted. So there is income, and I'm going to go, let me go to the third one and then we'll talk about income. I get excited about this project when I talk about it. At the lowest level, which is where everyone can enter, their NFT drop, which is happening towards the end of April, you're going to actually mint a player. And that player is a professional athlete that is going to have a life cycle inside of their ecosystem. So you're going to become the agent of that player. You're going to get them a trainer. You can get them booster packs. You're going to get them drafted on a team. You're going to be able to do endorsement deals. You're going to get paid every time that player is drafted in fantasy, which is going to run every week, just like fantasy runs today. And if they become one of the top top performers in the league, you're going to have all kinds of opportunities around those players. The development of this metaverse around the strategy of being like the real life version of sports, agents, athletes, trainers, stadiums, endorsements, sports book, fantasy, all of this brought together to give you, the individual, the opportunity to earn income streams from this is huge. No one's done it at this scale, and it is a massive, massive project. That's why it's been in development for 3.5 years. It is coming to life now. And my excitement in buying a team was we're also starting a sports agency. So inside of our DAO, all of our members are working to get their whitelist spots. And then once they have them, we'll be able to draft our players and we're going to put them together into an agency. And it's going to give us negotiating power with all of the different teams after the draft for trades, for endorsements. We're going to figure out who the best players in our group are. We're going to bring them to the top. And then the players that don't make it, we're going to try to find ways to subsidize them inside of this like family of assets. We're right now working on partnerships as team owners, looking for the right coaches, looking for the right agency representatives, looking for NFL players that want to be part of our team. We can do that. They become their NFT and then they join into the game and they can get a second career. To some people that are on the call. Hopefully that sounded like hint, not me actually coughing. There's just so much opportunity in this to create new revenue streams that we're just all in. And we're excited that this year they're also going to roll out basketball, baseball, and soccer, and that we've purchased the South Beach franchise. I mean, who doesn't want to go hang out in South Beach for a little while? That's why our mastermind's down there and we're doing all kinds of events in that space. So I get a little long-winded when I talk about that, but there's so much going on and so much opportunity. It's hard to get it all out.
No, yeah, I mean, I love it. I love the opportunity there. I would love to extend my NFL career somehow, some way. So, or my pro football career, excuse me. So, yeah, we'll see if we can make something happen.
No, that'd be exciting for everybody involved.
Yeah.
You could have won a Super Bowl while you were in Cleveland. It would have made my life a lot more enjoyable, but you probably had a few things stopping you from doing that.
Some things are out of my control, unfortunately, and there was quite a few out of my control there in Cleveland.
Yeah, well, it's been out of control in Cleveland for a long time, so that's a whole different conversation.
Right.
All right, here's another cool question. I think further, is there a chance in Web3 to have unique homes or car papers on NFT, bringing the laws up to date too? So, you know what's interesting? So I've got a buddy who is a big real estate investor, owns, I don't know, like 25, 27 homes. And I talked to him around the SimWin deal because he's a big gambler. He loves to go to Vegas, play cards. Anytime I ever wanted to gamble on a game and lose money, notice I said lose money, I would call him. That's why I don't do it anymore. And I was telling him about it, and he's like trying to understand NFTs. And here's the example that I gave him. At some point in the future, the world will catch up to the fact that the house that you live in could be owned via an NFT, and that NFT can be transferred between parties without having to pay attorneys and title agents and registering. Like, it all can be on the blockchain. There are experiments running in Wyoming and Delaware to do a lot of these things. So yeah, cars and homes eventually will be on the blockchain. Technically it could be an NFT as the terminology for the documentation that makes that happen, but it is coming. So it'll be exciting to see that, and it will definitely happen in most of our lifetimes, as long as we don't go hit by a bus tomorrow. We're going to see this transition. It usually takes 2 generations for this type of change to take place. There's the generation that adopts it, there's the generation that accepts it, and then there's the generation that is never going to know living without it. And that's just going to be the trend. The internet was no different. We see this like when I was in high school. I wasn't playing on the internet. I mean, in the mid 90s. That ages me a little bit, but it wasn't really a thing yet. I didn't make my first dollar on the internet till 1997. And there's people on this call that weren't alive when I was selling shit on the internet. So the blockchain is going to be no different. So investing now in the infrastructure of that economy, even though it's going to take a while for those investments to pay off, you got to be putting a little bit in the on-ramps, because over time, they're going to be the next Amazon, the next Microsoft, the next, I don't know if anybody wants to own Meta right now, but you get the point. Yeah, there's, I'm going to post this question. Sometimes I get, so there are already a lot of professional teams using the blockchain for tickets. The Dallas Mavericks are an example of people that are experimenting with them. You see some of it happening in Cleveland. Cleveland's got a big blockchain community that most people don't know about. And then integrating some of these aspects through QR codes on block instead of in just cloud-based ownership aspects. So this is happening sooner than you think. I appreciate all the questions coming in. I don't know that we're getting questions from Twitter. So there are some comments on here. Let's see what we got going on. These are retweets, which is awesome. All right, rock and roll. Do we have any more questions from the audience? This was a great call. We're excited. This is Jordan, this is our first real NFT partnership. We've worked with a couple other groups, but I think that we're formalizing a more strategic, long-term, ongoing approach to working together. And it's going to be mutually beneficial for both communities going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think there's a lot of value. I mean, we definitely see a lot of value. You guys have a lot going on, first of all, but we see value in all of it. Are you able to talk a little bit more about just the pod coin and what that looks like on a tokenomics side? What's the difference between the two coins? And what that looks like?
Yeah, we recently made a change, and that's one of the things about Web3 DAOs and tokenomics is having fluidity because things are ever changing. And what we noticed was we issued our pod token, and it was supposed to be like a one-all, serves all purposes, but it had some limitations. You can't use a token as a voting mechanism inside of a DAO if it isn't liquid, meaning that people don't hold it in their wallets. So in order to create a voting strategy that allowed true community control of the DAO, we issued out our pod token and then changed our index token to the PodX. Index token basically means it represents a piece of the assets inside of our DAO. And then in 2040, it's going to be exchangeable for the underlying assets as we liquidate those and put the money back into the wallets of the investors. There's also regulatory elements. We can issue out the pod token to just about anyone, and it does have value in the future. But in order to properly document and represent investment into an index fund, we have to do qualified investors only. In the U.S., that means what do they call them? Another brain fart. Accredited investors, but in many other countries that doesn't exist. So if you're in Asia, there's no limits to what we can do together. The earliest investors in our founders round and into our pod token do have a future one-to-one exchange for PodX, and that the staking rewards will be exchangeable for PodX in the future at different balancing points along the line of our growth. So that sometimes it may be worth more, sometimes it may be worth a little bit less, but it allows us to control the economic value, contract and expand our economy to make sure that we keep liquidity. The pod token you can buy right now on Uniswap, and it gives you voting rights inside of our DAO. You become a member of our DAO. The true value going in, if you buy one of our NFTs, 50% of the value goes into our DAO so that we can continue to grow those assets. And you can stake that to earn pod token going forward, which will be exchangeable for PodX in the future. Does that help? Does that answer it?
No, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I didn't want to cut in if you were going to get to this question.
No problem. And this is a recent change because we face problems, just like many other projects, with our economic modeling, our value proposition to our community, and more importantly, liquidity for people going forward. And the voting rights mechanism in the DAO. That was one of the hardest parts to accomplish.
Sure. Yeah, we're trying to figure out if a governance token of some sort makes sense for our DAO and membership. If that needs to be 2 tokens or if it needs to be 1 token and then a different voting mechanism. Just trying to figure that out. I'll probably pick your brain a little bit more offline about that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Over the last 3 months, while we've had a lot of success with our DAO, we've put about $700,000 in assets in it, and it's got a market cap or assets under management of around $10 million. The market cap of our tokens around $8.6 million, so it's actually a little undervalued right now relative to the assets under management. But we definitely learned a lot in the last 90 days, and it hasn't been easy. So I'd love to share all that with you offline so that you guys don't make any of the mistakes that we made. Question, if you get the NFT of a player, like you said, what happens when he retires? He retires. We're looking at streaming. We've got can't announce certain things. We're working on a streaming deal so that these games, like an ESPN style 24/7 sports channel, like they can become commentators. They can go in and create businesses inside of the metaverse in the future that are around this. But just like any professional player, once they retire, they've got to look at what they do next. And imagine being able to do that not only in the real world, but also in the virtual world. It's pretty exciting. Like the sky's the limit on what we're going to be able to do in the metaverse. And that's all projects, not just SimWin. Let's do last call for questions if anybody's got any. In fact, Jordan, on our end, can we make sure that we get this week's alpha report into their community, even though it's not a day early? That way they can see and we can start a conversation around that.
You got it.
Perfect.
Yeah. How does that? How do you guys send that out? Is it a PDF that comes out, or
yes, it is.
Trying to figure out if that's something that we can share with our members. We have holders that aren't in our Discord that are on our kind of email list. If that's something that we can share.
Yeah, we can integrate into your email list and get it sent out there. It's funny. I had a conversation with a lot of our larger investors who don't spend any time in Discord or Telegram. Like you couldn't pay them to.
Right.
And they're like, can you send this to us in an email? I'm like, that's so Web 2. But it's still something that we need to do. So yeah, it's a PDF that can be emailed out. We'll give you the copy each week, or we can just port it straight over and email it out for you so that we can manage the deliverability of it. But yeah, it'll definitely go out to email to subscribers and holders the same.
Cool. Appreciate that.
All right. Well, thank you everyone who joined. We will see you over in Discord for those of us that are Web3 adopters and that like to, what's the best way to put it? Stress ourselves out over all the damn messages that come across on there and try to filter out what we're supposed to read and what we're not. And we'll see you when we see you. All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jordan.